Steve Maskery is not a happy bunny, but nevertheless, welcome to Workshop Essentials. We've been having some building work done, and the builder is very unreliable. He's here for a couple of days, gone for a week. We can get another day out of him, and then we don't see him for the rest of the month. It's been dragging on for weeks and weeks and weeks. And in the meantime, we're living in squalor. I came home about a month ago to find him in my workshop using my table saw to cut up wood for the formwork for a concrete hearth that he was casting for us. And I was a bit miffed. I didn't actually say anything. But a few days ago, I went into the barn to use my sliding compound miter saw. Now I've got a very good fence on my sliding compound miter saw, and if you've not seen it, check it out. If you've got any kind of crosscut saw, consider making this. It's one of the best machine accessories I have ever built. It's fantastic. It is rigid, it is accurate, and it's dead easy to use. But the flip stop was no longer on the fence. Now I never take it off, I don't need to, it just flips out of the way. But it wasn't there. I found it and I put it back on. But when I came to make the cut, this is what I found. You can see how this has been cut off at 45 degrees. It should be square there, zero clearance for my blade. And that's happened because somebody has turned this to the 45-degree position and made a cut. And that somebody isn't me. I am livid. The fence is a 3-layer lamination made from 90-year-old Douglas fir, dry as a bone, and because of the lamination and the glue there, it makes it very rigid. It doesn't bend at all. It is as straight as a die. It was made in a dry workshop. It now sits in a very damp barn, and it hasn't moved a fraction. It is excellent. But it was quite a lot of work to make the stock for that fence. And with any luck, these two will go together beautifully. Look at that. Go on. Yay! Fantastic. So I'm reluctant to have to do the whole lot again. But I can't leave it like it is. I've lost my zero position, I've lost my zero clearance support. So I've got to do something. So I'd like to repair it if I can do so well. So I am going to try to fit a new piece on the end to restore the datum. The first thing I've done is to cut off the damaged end of my fence. And that means I've lost about 28 millimeters or so. And you can see the laminations here. When I made this, I made it as a laminated piece to keep it nice and stiff, and that was a really good move. Quite a lot of work went into making this, but it has never bent anything. It's as straight as a die. Even though it was made in a nice dry workshop and now it sits in a slightly damper one, it's still straight as a die. So I've lost about 30 millimeters, 28 millimeters or so, and I'm going to stick a sacrificial piece on the end like this. And I've planed a piece of oak to the same thickness. It doesn't look the same thickness because this is shimmed up with a couple of card scrapers so that I can make sure that my mortise is exactly in the center of the workpiece. And I'm going to use my domino machine. I'm going to cut a big mortise in here, so maximum waggle, and then I shall turn it down to medium waggle when I come to do the sacrificial end pieces. And that way I shall get the biggest mortise possible with a little bit of wiggle room to make sure that things line up. So I've got the face of the fence face down on my bench, shimmed up a tad, and then the face of my sacrificial pieces will also go face down on the bench, and that way the faces will line up exactly, even if my stock isn't exactly the same thickness. This is pretty close. There's only about 1/4 of a millimetre in it, but the front should be perfectly flush, perfectly flush. Right, I think we're ready to go. Let's give it a whirl. Somewhere there, maximum waggle. The smell is fantastic. Well, that looks about right. 20, that'll be enough. Now I just need to cut these ends off and then just keep going until I can't use it anymore. But that looks pretty good to me. Now we just want a little bit of glue inside the mortise. No need to go heavy-handed, just like that. These are good, you know, these silicone glue trays, I like it. That's better. Perfect. And that can go back on there. Now, because I've had this fence off, I need to recalibrate for 0. So I'm just going to, I've unscrewed the stop from the cradle, just move it up a couple of millimeters and screw it back again. Like that. And so now we set that to read 0, like that. That's okay. And so now when I cut this off here, it will read 0 and it will be 0 as well. So let's do that. I'm gonna have to move the camera, I think it's in the way. Let's move you back here a bit. That's better. Perfect. Move that out of the way. And I've now got my fence back to being 0 clearance and giving me good support right up to the cut. This is a repair that I wish I'd never had to make, but under the circumstances I think it's the least worst option. The fence is restored to accuracy again. I've got a 0 position, I've got good support for my workpiece. It's not pretty, but it'll have to do. It also has an unexpected advantage in that now if I want to do a left-hand mitre cut, I no longer need to remove the entire fence to do so. I can make the cut knowing that it's dead easy to replace the end, because I've got enough here. There's another 11 here, I think. There's enough here to last me the rest of my life, I suspect. So every cloud has a silver lining. Thank you very much for watching. Enjoy your workshop and don't let anybody use your stuff. Until the next time, cheerio.